In the heart of the Sahara Desert, where the golden sands stretch endlessly, there lived a young adventurer named Liam. Liam had always dreamed of exploring the vast, mysterious desert, even though everyone told him it was impossible. Determined to prove them wrong, Liam packed his backpack, filled it with water, and set out on his journey. As he stepped into the scorching heat, the desert seemed to whisper secrets of ancient times. Liam smiled, feeling a sense of excitement and determination fuel his every step. The first day was grueling. The sun blazed mercilessly, and the sands burned beneath his feet. But Liam's spirit remained unbroken as he laughed at the thought of getting the world's largest tan. He found humor in the situation, joking to himself, "At least I won't need a beach vacation after this." As night fell, the desert transformed into a cold, starry expanse, leaving Liam in awe. He marveled at the beauty of the night sky, realizing that the desert had its own way of showing kindness. "This isn't so bad," Liam thought, as he settled down to sleep under the blanket of stars. The next day, Liam encountered a caravan of friendly nomads who offered him water and food. They told him stories of the desert's secrets, including the legend of a hidden oasis. Intrigued, Liam decided to find this legendary oasis, believing it to be the ultimate treasure. As he continued his journey, he stumbled upon a peculiar-looking cactus with a goofy grin. The cactus seemed to be laughing at him, and Liam couldn't help but chuckle back. "Well, at least I have a friend in this desert," Liam said, naming the cactus Chuckles. Chuckles became his loyal companion, giving Liam the strength to keep going. Days turned into weeks as Liam navigated the vast dunes, his resolve never wavering. Along the way, he encountered a mischievous sand fox who stole his hat and ran away. Liam chased after the fox, laughing at the absurdity of the situation. The fox led him to a hidden cave where ancient drawings covered the walls. Liam was fascinated by the artwork, realizing that others had walked this path before him. The cave seemed to tell a story of courage, perseverance, and hope, filling Liam with inspiration. He took a deep breath and continued his journey, feeling more motivated than ever. As he walked, he thought about all the people who doubted him and smiled. "They don't know what they're missing," he said to himself, feeling a sense of pride. One day, Liam came across a massive sandstorm, the likes of which he'd never seen before. The wind howled, and the sand swirled around him, threatening to swallow him whole. But Liam stood his ground, determined to weather the storm, knowing it was just another challenge. He laughed in the face of the storm, shouting, "Is that all you've got, Sahara?" The storm eventually passed, leaving Liam exhausted but victorious. He realized that the desert was testing him, pushing him to his limits, but also making him stronger. With renewed determination, Liam pressed on, feeling closer to his goal with each step. After many more days of travel, Liam finally saw something glimmering in the distance. His heart raced as he approached the shimmering sight, hoping it was the fabled oasis. As he drew closer, he realized it was not an oasis, but a group of tourists lost in the desert. The tourists were in a state of panic, unsure of how to find their way back. Liam took charge, calming them down and guiding them to safety, using the skills he'd learned. The tourists were amazed by his confidence and thanked him profusely. "You're like a desert hero," one of them exclaimed, making Liam smile. As they made their way back, Liam shared stories of his journey, keeping the group entertained. They laughed at his tales of Chuckles the cactus and the mischievous sand fox. By the time they reached the edge of the desert, the tourists were no longer afraid. They marveled at the beauty of the Sahara, seeing it through Liam's eyes. "You turned this into an adventure," one of them said. "We'll never forget this experience." Liam felt a sense of accomplishment, knowing he had not only survived but thrived in the desert. He realized that the Sahara had given him more than just a challenge, it had given him memories. As they parted ways, the tourists invited Liam to join them on their next adventure. But Liam politely declined, saying, "The desert is my home for now." He watched as they disappeared into the distance, feeling a sense of peace. Liam knew he had changed, that the desert had transformed him in ways he hadn't expected. He sat down on a dune, looking out at the endless sands and smiled. "I did it," he whispered to himself, feeling a deep sense of pride and satisfaction. As he sat there, he noticed a small flower blooming in the sand, a symbol of life in the desert. Liam knew that if a flower could thrive here, so could he. He decided to stay in the Sahara a little longer, to learn more about its secrets. Over the next few months, Liam became known as the Desert Wanderer, a legend in his own right. Travelers and tourists sought him out for guidance, eager to learn from his experiences. Liam welcomed them all, sharing his knowledge and helping them navigate the vast desert. He found joy in teaching others, in showing them that the Sahara was not just a barren wasteland. The desert was a place of wonder, of mystery, and of endless possibility. Liam knew that he had found his true calling in the sands of the Sahara. He spent his days exploring new parts of the desert, always finding something new and interesting. One day, while wandering, he discovered an ancient ruin buried beneath the sand. The ruin was filled with artifacts and treasures from a long-forgotten civilization. Liam was in awe, realizing he had stumbled upon something truly remarkable. He spent weeks carefully uncovering the site, documenting everything he found. His discovery attracted the attention of historians and archaeologists from around the world. They flocked to the Sahara, eager to learn from Liam and explore the ruins. Liam became a hero in their eyes, his name known far and wide. But despite all the fame and recognition, Liam remained humble. He knew that the real treasure was not the ruins or the artifacts, but the journey itself. The desert had taught him the value of perseverance, of laughter, and of finding joy in the little things. One evening, as the sun set over the dunes, Liam sat with a group of tourists around a campfire. They listened intently as he told them stories of his adventures in the Sahara. He spoke of the time he chased a sand fox, of his friendship with Chuckles the cactus, and of the sandstorm he conquered. The tourists laughed, gasped, and marveled at his tales, feeling inspired by his journey. As the night wore on, Liam looked up at the stars, feeling a deep sense of contentment. He knew that he had found his place in the world, that the Sahara was where he belonged. The desert had become his home, his teacher, and his greatest adventure. Liam's heart swelled with gratitude, knowing that he had lived a life of meaning and purpose. As the fire crackled and the tourists began to drift off to sleep, Liam whispered a silent thank you to the Sahara. The desert had given him everything he had ever wanted and more. He had learned that the greatest adventures were not the ones planned, but the ones that unfolded along the way. Liam knew that he would continue to explore the Sahara, to uncover its mysteries and share its wonders with the world. The desert was a place of endless possibilities, and Liam was ready for whatever came next. He smiled to himself, knowing that his journey was far from over. There were still dunes to climb, storms to weather, and secrets to uncover. But Liam was no longer afraid, for he had learned to embrace the challenges and find joy in the journey. As the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, Liam stood up and stretched. He looked out at the vast expanse of sand, feeling a sense of excitement for the day ahead. The desert was calling, and Liam was ready to answer. With a final glance at the sleeping tourists, he set off into the dunes, his heart full of hope. The Sahara was his playground, his teacher, and his home. Liam knew that no matter where life took him, the desert would always be a part of him. He had found his true self in the sands of the Sahara, and for that, he was eternally grateful. As he disappeared into the horizon, Liam left behind a legacy of courage, laughter, and adventure. The story of the desert wanderer would be told for generations, inspiring others to follow their dreams. And so, the Sahara continued to whisper its secrets, waiting for the next adventurer to discover its wonders.